Welcome, I'm Ramon Williamson, and in this video I'm going to step you through a bonus that I'm actually working on for Mastermind members, and I'm calling it the Productivity Pink Spoon. And basically what this is a turnkey Pink Spoon irresistible offer that my Mastermind members will be able to use in their marketing and through their websites. And I want to leverage this as an opportunity to go further in sharing with you the mechanics of creating an effective Pink Spoon irresistible offer in your business and how to structure it. And hopefully you'll learn from this and find it useful in creating your own Pink Spoon. And if you're a part of our mastermind, then you're going to get all of this and the templates and be able to implement it. And this will give you a big picture overview of the process. Now, there are three fundamental big picture elements with a Pink Spoon. There's the actual content that you are providing people. There's what I call the offer presentation. And then there is the back office delivery and the setup instructions. So we're going to start with the content. And in this particular Pink Spoon offer, our content's going to be delivered in a series of emails, in a multi-sequence email process that's going to be delivered by an autoresponder or a smart email service that allows you to schedule emails out in advance at a certain interval. Now, there's a couple of things I want to point out. Let's take a look at email number one. And email number one, what you're going to notice here is that there are three basic components to an effective Pink Spoon email or a mini course or 5-part, 7-part, however many it is, email sequence. Now, it's important to know that this is not pitch email. This is teach to sell email. This is email that engages people, and there's really a process that is behind it that helps not only engage people, but it helps to get them involved and active in the process. And it's really important that you engage them. Okay, so the first aspect of each email is the actual content itself. What are you actually focused on? So for example, in this first email, I'm going to talk about the 80-20 rule and make the point that if you look at your list of 100 things to do, there are 20 of those things that give you 80% of the result. And the second aspect of it is to have an action step. And in the action step, I'm going to focus them on identifying their 20%. And then the third aspect, and it's not necessary to have this in each email or each point of engagement, but it's very useful to ask yourself, when you give a person an action step, what will make it easier? Is there a resource or a recommendation that'll make that process easier? And so there might be a form that you could create, there might be something that you could recommend that would help make that process easier. And in this case, it's going to be a daily action checklist. Now, I want to pause here and share with you a big secret to adding and earning affiliate revenue. Affiliate revenue is where you recommend a product or service, and the creator of that product or service pays you a percentage, a commission, when you refer that product and service. And it's a very, very powerful and ethical and useful way of earning an additional income online. One of the big secrets for this is that whenever you are recommending an affiliate program or a product or service on an affiliate basis, what I've noticed is that if you will explain the detailed process, let's say, for example, you're recommending a piece of software, and that software makes a process easier. If you teach that process, the long form of that process first, and say, here's what you can do to get this result, then you recommend the software or the solution and show them how this is going to help them get the result in a fraction of the time, you will actually make more money referring products and services using that approach. The approach of teaching them the process and then recommending the product or the service or the tool or the software that accelerates it, that makes the process easier. Okay, so that's just a bonus in this conversation. So in the second email, the content would be start, stop, continue. So I'll talk with them about, for example, identifying in your business on a day-to-day basis based on the understanding of the law of the vital few. So what do you start, stop, and continue based on this understanding? And then an action step will be to clean up or complete 3 things. Okay? And then the second part of the action step, and this is what I really want to focus you on here, is that they tweet or Facebook their progress. Now, this is engaging with social media. It's letting people know what they're doing. It's giving them a way to celebrate their progress, to let others know about what they're doing, also potentially know about you. In fact, I encourage you to let people, to let people know that they're going through this 5-part process and include a link to invite them in. Now, I'm going to jump here to email 4 because I want to highlight something here. It's in email 4 where we talk about accelerating your success. And again, what we're doing here is we're laying the entire thing out. And then in the 4th email, what we're saying, if you want to get from where you are to where it is you want to be faster and easier, then the key is to work with a coach. And what I suggest that the offer is not convincing them why work with a coach or why work with you as a financial advisor or planner. What I'm actually suggesting here is that you offer them the opportunity to schedule an initial 20-minute strategy session with you. Now, whether you're a financial planner, whether you're a coach, a consultant, any sort of professional offering any kind of service, this is a very powerful way. It puts value, for example, on the free thing that you are offering. And that's why I call it an initial strategy session, because it's not about giving free advice or free coaching. And I'll talk more about that in our mastermind as we proceed. But let me give you some of the mechanics for this. What I use overall is Google Calendar. And I use that as a central calendar. And I use a tool called Time Driver, which allows people to schedule online. So Time Driver gives me a URL. People click that URL. They're able to see what times I've made available on my calendar, schedule, and then that's added directly to Google Calendar. Now, on my iPad, I use a tool called Informant. And Informant is an app that basically is a calendar app on the iPad, also available on the iPhone. And there are a number of different tools on the Android phones as well. And also, obviously, Google Calendar is available online. And that's really how I manage my whole scheduling process. And it allows my assistant to be able to see my calendar, add things, and it's a very useful hub for me at this particular time. Now, I got to tell you that I am a Mac user. I made the transition. I was originally a Mac user from way back when I started marketing on the internet in the early 90s. I went to PC, and then I recently came back to Mac, really because Mac is just far superior in terms of the multimedia tools and things that it allows you to do. But the Mac calendar doesn't really play, Google doesn't play well with the Mac calendar. I think all that's going to change, and I'll get even more integrated, but I just wanted to show you some of the tools that I'm using. Okay, so basically you've got the content. Now, let me talk a little bit about the online presentation, because there's some important keys here that I want to make sure that I talk about. One is graphics. This is not something I've really prioritized. Most of my stuff has been pretty plain and boring, okay? And it's worked because I've focused in a very specific market and developed a high level of empathy and connection and rapport with that market. And so my words leap off the page as understanding and getting where they are. And until you get there, and it takes a while, you want to make sure that you're using graphics. Graphics that really connect and communicate and enhance the perceived value. And it's just a little graphic that illustrates what they're going to get. A little book graphic, a series of documents type graphic. And I'm actually having a professional graphic made for this particular Pink Spoon offer that I'm giving as a bonus to Mastermind members in a couple of weeks. Also, it's a copy. You know, the presentation is three things. It's the graphics, first of all. It's the graphic image. It's the copy, what you actually say. I'm going to provide a template with a headline. And what I want to say about the copy is that you want to make sure that your copy, don't try to be cute in what you communicate. Focus on the idea. And by the way, you may hear that lawnmower in the background, and I hear it too, and I'm ignoring it, and I want you to ignore it. And I'm just going to keep going, okay? So the next thing is placement. So, oh, by the way, I want to say this about headlines. Don't be cute. What you want to focus on with the headline is you want to communicate the biggest promise benefit of what they're going to get as a result of this this product. And if I had to make one up off the top of my head, I would say for this particular Pink Spoon, it is, you know, finally get more done the easy way or something like that. You know, simplifying productivity. The third element is the placement, and like them or not, pop-ups are the best way to present these kinds of offers. In my testing, side by side, A versus B, what I've discovered is that using some sort of pop-up that engages the visitor when they come to the website is the most effective tool. Now, I got to tell you, a lot of people don't like pop-ups, and the reason they don't like pop-ups is because they remember a decade ago or even recently, they'll get these pop-ups and they're trying to sell them something that they don't want. People don't like pop-ups when pop-ups are trying to sell them something they don't want. But where it's useful and it's integrated elegantly within the site, it works amazingly well. The third overall aspect is the delivery, and this is the setup instructions. And really this process involves having an autoresponder account. What I use and recommend is Aweber. Go to http://begin, no www is needed, .aweber.com. That's a $1 trial to get you started. And the second thing is that you're going to set up a list, a new list within your Aweber account. And then you're going to use a specific piece of code, and I've got a video that'll show you this, in your email setup, your list setup. And what it's going to do is it's going to copy all of the emails that I showed you earlier into your account. And then all you're going to need to do is simply customize each of those emails with your name, your email address, and other details. And then what you want to do is add that form to your website. Now, this whole process is really simple, and you can find someone, for example, at odesk.com to set this whole thing up for you for $15. You probably can also find someone at fiverr.com who'll do it for $5. It's a really simple process, especially when I've given you everything that you need to do or everything that you need to have to get it set up. So I just wanted to give you an overview of this process. This is actually going to be a free unadvertised bonus that I'm going to provide to Mastermind members. If you're not already in the Mastermind, why not? And I wanted to leverage this as an opportunity to really teach you the process of creating a Pink Spoon offer and go a little bit further. And so hopefully it's been useful to you. I'll look forward to seeing you in upcoming videos. Take good care.